Welcome, dear Planeswalkers, to my first custom card video. If you don't know, in terms of Magic the Gathering, I mainly present myself as a custom card designer, and you can find my current work on Instagram at Phantom's Magic Store. I made this channel in part to get a chance to talk about my designs more in depth, and to discuss custom card design in general, as I feel there's quite little coverage for that. And that is obviously what I'm doing in this video right now. Today we take a look at one of my favorite commanders I designed, and his name is Vedel Darksteel Smith. Vedel is a part of my ASC series, a small set of legendary creatures, each inspired by a premier modern legal expansion of Magic, and this guy is obviously based on Darksteel, the second set of the original Mirrodin block. So, let's take a look at his abilities, and then go over how I designed the card and some deck building ideas as well. Vedel Darksteel Smith is a 3/4 white human artificer for 4 mana. He's got 3 abilities. First up, whenever you cast a spell that has Indestructible, draw a card. Then, whenever another permanent you control gains Indestructible, untap it. And lastly, for 5 mana and tapping Vedel, you can put an Indestructible counter on target artifact you control. The flavor text then states, "My work is eternal." The lore implications, I think, are quite clear. Darksteel is this mysterious metal found on the plane of Mirrodin. We currently have no idea how it is created, and this secret is said to be known only by the Volshok, who are the red-aligned humans of Mirrodin. So you might ask, why Vedel himself isn't red? Well, the answer is mostly mechanical, since Indestructible is a mechanic primarily found in white. Though in my headcanon, I perceive Vedel as someone removed from the Mirran tribal structure altogether, a mysterious man living a hermit lifestyle somewhere far away, guarding his secrets. His main motive is to create tools, which to him are works of art, that will survive forever, as he believes that an artist lives on through his art. Now back to the abilities. The first line of text is a bit cheap, I admit. We see a lot of these do a thing, draw a card type of payoffs, which have gradually become quite repetitive. But I think it doesn't hurt this particular design too much, since you are very unlikely to storm off with Indestructible cards. It's just a part of an engine to keep your deck running. Also, it is limited to casting and not entering the battlefield to prevent flicker shenanigans, and whatever madness would ensue with Avacyn on the battlefield. We'll get to her. Now, to the second line. This one is probably more interesting, but also a bit more niche. It kind of alters how a lot of your spells function. Its main purpose is to turn all flawless maneuver type effects into dramatic reversal. This can work out as a very neat combat trick against foolish opponents who get tricked by your tapped out board, or alternatively, if you manage to play some mana dorks, this can even do some ramp for you. In other situations, you can untap a single permanent which you are saving from removal at the same time, and this even works in tandem with that last ability. If you're using a chromatic orrery to activate it, you're getting your mana back and an Indestructible orrery on top. That sounds quite profitable to me. In terms of deck building, while the idea here is quite niche, I think there's still a few possible routes to choose from. Either you go down the most obvious path and include anything with a Darksteel in its name, for the best and most flavorful Indestructible experience utilizing Vedel's first ability. My undying respect if you manage to get Darksteel Relic in there just for style points. Also, don't forget to shuffle in every possible board wipe that suddenly becomes one-sided to win your playgroup's undying love. I guess that could get a tiny bit obnoxious. Anyways, for the second path, you take advantage of the untapping, play just a hand-picked selection of Indestructible permanents, and fill the rest with a powerful white aggro build, supported by Flawless Maneuver, Make a Stand, Grand Crescendo, and so on. The last option I see is to try and build a white artifact strategy and protect your board with Vedel's activated ability. Or you could of course combine all of these strategies in a way, or find some other path I haven't mentioned. Before we wrap up, let's just do a lightning round of some interesting interactions. Terra Eternal ramps you pretty nicely the turn you play it, since all your lands untap with Vedel when it enters. Just make sure to float all your mana beforehand. Kithian gets to untap himself for 3 mana. Frontline Medic and Angelic Guardian give your attackers pseudo-vigilance. Odric is pure evil. Don't forget to add all the viable gods, the Talpa, the One Ring, and both Ulamonks if you're feeling especially diabolical today. Avacyn Angel of Hope feels like it would do wonders, but she basically just untaps your non-indestructible permanents and then proceeds to do her usual business. Which, is still busted, but for a card this centered around Indestructible, you'd probably expect a bit more synergy. And there you have it. This has been Vedel Darksteel Smith. A while back, I tried to build an Indestructible themed deck and figured there isn't a dedicated commander for it, so naturally I made one myself. I'm interested to hear how you would personally approach building this deck, or if it's even a commander you'd consider playing, or just anything you want to share with me. Check out my Instagram for more custom cards, and definitely expect to see them on this channel in the future as well. Quick unscripted epilogue time. There's actually another version of Vedel which I made prior to this one when I was doing all of the ASC cards in order. Then I kind of later went through most of them and remade them in the MTG card builder form you can see in the video. I quite like the selection of special frames they have, and I also updated them mechanically. You can see the old Vedel on screen here. He just drew cards on all of the trigger conditions, and when I redesigned him I thought it would be more interesting to give him some sort of other payoff for this than just drawing cards. He used to be much more like SRAM Senior Edificer in this way, that he just drew cards on different conditions. Then I later remade it into the design you can see in the video. There's a lot of other quite interesting ASC commanders I made. I will include a link to the set containing all of the cards below the video so you can check it out, and maybe write me in the comments which one of them or several are your favorite, and maybe I'll go through them in the future or talk about some other custom card topics. Hope you enjoyed. That would be all from me today, and have a great day. Bye.